The good news in Alamance County, no injuries reported. However, there are hundreds of trees uprooted just like that one, and you will find down power lines like this one everywhere in the county, blocking roads. National Weather Service says there's no doubt a tornado came through here. The worst of the damage, this house is located on Old Greensboro Chapel Hill Road. You can see the roof literally ripped right off of the building. A young man who was inside that house at the time tells me, quote, "I'm just glad I got out alive." Just down the street and around the corner from that house, here is a house owned by a woman who's an ER nurse. She's been dealing with COVID-19 for the past several weeks, and now she's dealing with a tornado. It damaged her home. It also damaged her SUV parked right outside. What was it like inside when it happened?
Like I said, the dog and I were looking out the back, and I could see the wind and I could see the twirl. And I hollered at my husband, then it was like bang, bang. It's like, oh, Lord, we got to be getting out of the way.
And just down the street, Hunter Bowers. I don't know how many trees fell down on his property, but upwards of 24. None of them, get this, none of them hit the actual house. However, his pickup truck that was in the carport, it's gone.
Truck's totaled, I believe.
What was it?
It's a 2011 Ford.
In the carport.
Oh yeah, in the carport. That was my go-to-town truck. That was my nice one.
Why is it always that way? It's always the nice one that gets messed up.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't have been nowhere near sad if I lost this one, but at least I still got a vehicle.
National Weather Service says now is the time to get your plan ready. Where are you going to go if a tornado threatens you? In Alamance County, I'm Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.
Bill, thank you. In the next few days, the National Weather Service says it's going to survey damage to see if tornadoes touch down in Anson, Richmond, Onslow, Jones, and Craven counties. Well, Governor Roy Cooper says social distancing guidelines are making a difference in North Carolina's fight against this virus, but he says we need to be vigilant and continue social distancing. Essential stores are implementing stricter measures now to keep customers safe. And the Sea is reporting more than 4,800 people have come down with COVID-19. 86 people so far have died. Another grim milestone in this country, the number of people who have died from the coronavirus tops 20,000. That number has doubled from a week ago. Nearly half of those deaths are in New York. Several hospitals there have set up temporary morgues. This morning, Governor Andrew Cuomo said he believes the state has reached a plateau, and he's encouraged by the number of people who are being taken off ventilators and being moved out of intensive care. He says he is cautiously optimistic about controlling the spread of the virus and compared reopening the economy there to slowly opening a valve.
Advised by experts, keep your eye on the meter. The meter is the infection rate. And watch that infection rate. And if you see that infection rate start ticking up, which would be undermining everything we have accomplished thus far, then you know you've opened the valve too fast.
A company based in Mebane is changing up its production capabilities to help in the fight against COVID-19. Luxury bedding brand Kingsdown says it's going to produce hospital beds now for healthcare facilities and temporary hospitals. The mattress will be covered in a medical vinyl that's flame resistant and has antifungal properties as well. Well, as the results come in this evening from Wisconsin, so too is extra money from the feds. Congress is giving hundreds of millions of dollars to states, including North Carolina, to pay for changes to how we vote during and after this pandemic, especially come November. Here's Chief National Investigative Correspondent Mark Albert.
This is what a COVID-19 election looks like. Long lines, few precincts, many frustrated voters.
Endanger our safety.
Risk their lives. This is mismanagement.
Wisconsin voted last week, and dozens of states still will before the national conventions in August. But coronavirus-related changes are coming, and states are about to get help to implement them.
How quickly can you get the money out? Congress gave us 30 days.
Ben Hovland is the chairman of the Election Assistance Commission, which is in charge of the money. $400 million starting to go to states this month, including for new protective equipment and hand sanitizer for poll workers, relocating polling places away from senior centers, extra training of volunteers after some quit, more printing for an expected surge in absentee ballots, and equipment to sort it all.
I think we need to listen to election officials, hear what they need, and do as much as we can for them.
Is it enough money?
It's
not nearly enough.
Larry Norden is the director of the election reform program at the Brennan Center for Justice. The center estimates at least $2 billion, not $400 million, will be needed to prepare for the November elections due to the pandemic.
If you want to get a sense of what's going to happen if they don't provide that money, all you have to do is look at what just happened in Wisconsin.
Democrats in Congress want to ramp up vote-by-mail options to help avoid chaotic scenes at the remaining primaries and in November. But President Trump said last week he is against expanding that option. In Washington, I'm Chief National Investigative Correspondent Mark Albert.
Well, here in North Carolina, our election officials can get nearly $11 million from the Election Assistance Commission, with our state required to put up another 20% to pay for coronavirus-related costs. Ahead, to protect and serve treats, police officers double up as Easter bunnies to spread some joy and some safety over the Easter weekend.
It definitely was nice to see some sunshine out there today, right? And now that the wind is laid down, we're getting set for a really nice Tuesday. I'll let you know what you can expect for the rest of the week. There will be some cold air, so stick around for the details on that.
Renowned fashion icon Louis Vuitton is transforming his workshops in France to production sites for stylish face masks to battle the coronavirus. The goal there is to make hundreds of thousands of face masks. The company has dedicated 300 artisans and 5 sites to create them, while a 22-member team sews around the clock. A special delivery on Easter Sunday, courtesy of a police department in Connecticut. They delivered baskets packed with PPE necessities to seniors. In addition to masks and gloves, each basket also had a little candy.
They can stay home and stay safe. That's what we want them to do. But if they must go out, we want them to wear the PPE that the police department is supplying to them today.
I love that, and those donations made the effort possible. Neighbors in a town in Iceland have been dancing away their worries and their stress each day during a coronavirus lockdown. They organized this on Facebook. Check it out. A few of them launched the daily dance parties to lighten the mood during the ban on large gatherings and social distancing. The neighbors have met up at least 4 days now, with more people joining each time, of course, at safe distances away from each other.
Hi, I'm Jeff Rawson. Still skeptical about social distancing? Now researchers are using our cell phone signals to light up a heat map and show us the spread around the world, around the country in real time. We're going to show it to you. Rawson reports coming up.
We're back now with Rawson Responds and a new fascination looking at what happens when we don't social distance. New technology is now letting us see the impact by using our cell phone signals. Chief National Consumer Correspondent Jeff Rawson is here to show us how this works.
Hey guys, this is truly amazing when you see it. We keep hearing the advice. If you don't social distance, you will spread this virus. But now real data is in, using all of our mobile phone signals on a heat map showing the spread. Today, you're about to see it in real time. Every little dot on this map is an active cell phone signal. The company tracking them, Tectonics, shows this one beach in South Florida. Look at all the kids partying together over spring break. All those phones so close to each other. Now watch this. Tectonics followed those same signals as spring break ended. Watch what happens. All those people clustered together, now traveling home, interacting with hundreds or thousands of others all over the country. Jefferson Wilson is COO of Tectonics, joining us now by Skype. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jeff. Good to talk with you.
So why did you do this experiment? What are you hoping we take out of it?
Honestly, we were pretty shocked at what we found because it's really hard to conceptualize something like this. So what we're hoping to do is to show people, rather than simply tell them, how important social distancing is and what sort of impact it can have on the community if it's something that you choose not to do.
They also mapped the spread from New York City. The results even more disturbing.
What we did was we zoomed in on New York City over a 2-day period, and then we zoomed back out just to see what travel out of New York City looked like. They went everywhere, from Maine, California, Texas, North Dakota, all over the map.
And this is how fast the virus can spread. We're seeing it right there.
Yeah, it can spread just that quickly.
But some good news. When government officials crack down with stay-at-home laws, Tectonic says it seems to work. At least it is in Baltimore.
For the Baltimore video, what we're looking at is social distancing in action. The video starts before any sort of travel restrictions and the closing of non-essential businesses by Governor Hogan, and it fast forwards to after those restrictions have been put in place. So you can see the number of people that were out and about really drop off.
The company wanted us to point out they aren't tracking the identities of the cell phone owners, just the signals themselves for the research. They tell us they're actually in touch with government officials right now to supply data as this crisis continues and hope to use the information for good. Back to you.
Interesting stuff. Thank you, Jeff. Well, turning now to our forecast, we've got Chief Meteorologist Lainey Pope continuing to work from home as we social distance here at WXII. Lainey, it's good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you too as well. Hope you're doing well. We had a lot of sunshine out there this afternoon, so that definitely brightens the mood, right? After a really stormy start to the day. You take a look at the creek behind the Elkin Library and you're going to see high water all day long from all of that rain. In Elkin, reporting about 2.5 inches of rain, as a matter of fact. Of course, all the streams and creeks up in our westernmost communities. This picture sent to me on Facebook from TT Morrison. This is some water photos from last night in Mount Airy, where they saw on average in parts of Surry County about 4.5 inches of rain. Meadows of Dan, Darren Gardner sending in this photo of the rain gauge saying we had over 4 inches of rain last night. About 4.5 inches at Elk Creek. Stewart and Hillsville about 2.25, 2.5 inches of water. Burlington, Winston-Salem, High Point, and Greensboro around that 1 inch to 1.5 inches mark. And of course, storms racing through early this morning. Tomorrow will be a good day to get out and about. Maybe you've got to go run a couple of errands. Getting groceries should be okay. You're not going to have to deal with a lot of wind. You've got just a few clouds out there. It'll be mostly sunny, though, with temperatures in the low 60s by tomorrow afternoon. And that's where we are right now, which is really nice, right? 63 in Greensboro, 62 in Mocksville, 59 in Danbury. We do have some 40s showing up in the mountains. That is where some of the cooler air is already moving in behind the front. Two fronts, as a matter of fact. First one brought us the severe weather. The second one's going to usher in the cold air. And look, out there over Missouri, they actually have a little bit of snow. There may be a few snowflakes in the highest elevations late tomorrow, especially in western Virginia and West Virginia, but a possibility even in our mountain towns. It is mostly clear out there right now. Of course, not that way earlier today. You can see those storms that roll through, moving at about 50 miles an hour. So that line raced through here between about 1 a.m. and 8 a.m. There are your flood reports across the Carolinas. The tornadic activity was mainly over South Carolina and then down east, but we of course had that one tornado touchdown in the southeastern part of Alamance County. Most of the damage was in the form of wind, and a lot of it all across the area. Thankfully, the wind has come down. The temperatures are on their way down. We're going to see low to mid 40s tomorrow morning in the foothills and in the Triad, and even some upper 30s are in the picture for the mountains with mostly clear skies. Our forecast for tomorrow, a good bit of sunshine, I think, early. Then we're going to start to notice a couple clouds coming in here. We should make it into the low to mid 60s by late afternoon, but it'll be comfortable out there and not nearly as windy. For the mountains, it's cold in the morning with temps in the 30s, and then afternoon readings will be in the mid 50s. Now let's talk about the precipitation. There is just a chance tomorrow night into Wednesday that we'll see a passing rain shower across the area, and then we will start to dry out some. Even heading into Thursday, it looks like right now we will have a good bit of sun in our forecast. I actually think Thursday is going to be a nice day. It will be cold in the morning, Brianna. I know you don't like the 30s. I've got 36 for you on Thursday morning, but highs are going to be in the 60s for the most part this week, and in the upper 30s and low 40s at night, and that is just a little bit below normal for mid-April. So we'll try to warm things up for you, Brianna, so you can get outside and get that garden going.
Thank you so much, Lainey. Well, Bernie Sanders is endorsing his former Democratic presidential rival, Joe Biden. The two made a joint online appearance today. Sanders says he's asking all Americans to come together to support Biden's candidacy and to make President Trump a one-term president. Sanders suspended his campaign last week. Sam Adams Brewery is expanding its program to help unemployed bar and restaurant workers. The company is launching its Restaurant Strong Fund in 20 states, including North Carolina. The goal is to give $1,000 to industry workers who lost their jobs because of the coronavirus outbreak. To qualify, you have to be a full-time employee at the same restaurant, bar, or nightclub for at least 3 months, and the deadline to apply is April 30th. While we wait until May for the NBA to readdress its COVID-19 shutdown, the league's commissioner has encouraged all employees to think ahead. He's asked all league employees to present ideas for a potential return to play. One idea is a proposed 25-day program to get players ready to compete again. That plan includes an 11-day stretch of individual workouts, followed by a 2-week training camp, pending the okay from medical officials. Well, last night, Rio de Janeiro's iconic Christ the Redeemer statue wore scrubs and had a stethoscope around his neck in honor of healthcare workers. Just look at that. These images were projected onto the statue, showing it dressed as a healthcare worker, later to be replaced by flags from countries around the world with the word hope underneath them. You can see the entire world, the globe really, is in this fight together. You're watching WXI 12 News at 10 on the Triad CW.
Our 7-day forecast does have some chilly nights ahead. In fact, we've got some upper 30s and low 40s for a majority of nights this week. Hopefully this will be the last of the cold air and we'll really start to warm up. Our highs are in the 60s this week, which is just a touch below normal, and we do have opportunities for rain here and there.
All right, thank you, Lainey, and thank you all for joining us tonight. That does it for WXI 12 News at 10. The news at 11 begins in just a few moments over on WXI 12.
This is a WXII 12 editorial by President and General Manager Michelle Bott.
Right now, we talk a lot about what we are missing, like the Final Four and first T-ball games. Easter Sunday won't be spent with extended family and friends, and spring breaks are canceled. The list of what we are missing, canceling, and foregoing is growing by the day. But instead of reminding ourselves all the good stuff we're missing out on, let's flip that on its head and look at what we're gaining. Instead of watching basketball, there are serious games of hoops going on in driveways. Moms and dads are teaching their children t-ball instead of just watching a game. And Easter Sunday will be spent instead with time to reflect on the significance of the day. Staycations are in, and so are family game nights and home-cooked meals. People are learning new skills like driveway art and rekindling relationships with old hobbies like gardening. No, none of it is the same, and we won't get back all the first and last we are missing. But we have each other and our faith to lean on, and that right there, well, that's the real good stuff.
WXII 12 welcomes responsible replies to this editorial. From WXII 12 News, this is special coverage of the coronavirus impact.
What we are doing is working. We're saving lives. Our biggest enemy is complacency.
Staying vigilant and staying home. Leaders say the coronavirus is still spreading across the state, but at a much slower pace than before. Governor Roy Cooper says it's because we are following social distancing guidelines and executive orders. And tonight, another executive order is in effect that impacts all of us. More on that in a moment, but we want to get to our weather first. Strong, fast-moving storms rolled through our region early this morning, ripping up trees and tearing down power lines. Crews have been working nonstop since then to get the lights back on. Duke Energy says it's restored power to all but 92,000 North Carolinians. Earlier today, that number was close to 240,000 customers. And in our region, Forsyth County has the most outages with 445. That's down from 900 just a few hours ago. The National Weather Service confirms an EF1 tornado ripped through Alamance County this morning. Here's some video, an aerial look at some of the damage. Wind speeds around 100 miles per hour hit the area. Our Bill O'Neill shows us what things looked like on the ground.
The good news in Alamance County, no injuries reported. However, there are hundreds of trees uprooted just like that one, and you will find downed power lines like this one everywhere in the county, blocking roads. National Weather Service says there's no doubt a tornado came through here. The worst of the damage to this house is located on Old Greensboro Chapel Hill Road. You can see the roof literally ripped right off of the building. A young man who was inside that house at the time tells me, quote, "I'm just glad I got out alive." Just down the street and around the corner from that house, here is a house owned by a woman who's an ER nurse. She's been dealing with COVID-19 for the past several weeks, and now she's dealing with a tornado. It damaged her home. It also damaged her SUV parked right outside. What was it like inside when it happened?
Like I said, the dog and I were looking out the back, and I could see the wind and I could see the twirl. And I hollered at my husband. Then it was like bang, bang. It's like, oh, Lord, we got to be getting out of the way.
And just down the street, Hunter Bowers. I don't know how many trees fell down on his property, but upwards of 24. None of them, get this, none of them hit the actual house. However, his pickup truck that was in the carport, it's gone.
Truck's totaled, I believe.
What was it?
It's a 2011 Ford.
In the carport?
Oh yeah, in the carport. That was my go-to-town truck. That was my nice one.
Why is it always that way? It's always the nice one that gets messed up.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't have been nowhere near sad if I lost this one, but at least I still got a vehicle.
National Weather Service says now is the time to get your plan ready. Where are you going to go if a tornado threatens you? In Alamance County, I'm Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.
Well, the storms early this morning are to blame for a woman's death in Davidson County. A large oak tree fell into a home on Linwood Southmont Road, killing 61-year-old Beverly Long. Her husband only suffered minor injuries. A woman named Talisa Hurt says she lives next door, and the victim was her aunt.
Beverly was a good Christian woman, just Sunday school teacher, just a real community person. Life is precious because you can go to bed and everything be okay and wake up and there's chaos.
There's a lot of cleaning up going on in Wilkes County too. 4 trees fell on top of a home on Oak Forest Circle and Millers Creek overnight, destroying the roof of an enclosed porch, but not the actual home. Good news here is nobody got hurt. New tonight, another care facility in North Carolina has become a coronavirus hotspot. Rowan County health officials confirm 91 people have tested positive for COVID-19. They say most of those people caught the virus at a congregate care facility. The Rowan County Health Department says it is looking into these results. Well, tonight, 4,800 people in the state have tested positive for coronavirus. At least 86 people have died. And for the first time, someone with COVID-19 died today in Yadkin County. More than 500 people have tested positive for COVID-19 in our area. There are cases in every single county in the Piedmont Triad. Guilford, Forsyth, Davidson, Randolph, and Alamance counties have the most. Every other county is reporting fewer than 14 cases. Tighter restrictions are in effect at retail stores all across the state now. An executive order from Governor Roy Cooper went into effect this evening, requiring grocery stores and other essential businesses to take added precautions. Stores are now limiting the number of people allowed inside at once. They have to make sure there are no more than 5 people per 1,000 square feet of retail space. It also makes it mandatory for essential stores to place markings on the floor showing 6 feet of distance where people typically congregate. Businesses are also required to undertake specific cleaning measures. We're getting a lot of calls and questions still about those federal stimulus checks. You might notice the money in your account soon. The IRS started issuing the payments this weekend. We don't know when everyone is going to get paid, but the Treasury Department says a large majority of people will get a direct deposit within the next 2 weeks. Well, Governor Roy Cooper says as of today, more than 561,000 North Carolinians have applied for unemployment insurance. He says the Division of Employment Security has issued $66 million in benefits to date and is expanding to take new claims and process checks as quickly as possible. With non-essential businesses ordered to close and many essential businesses struggling to stay open, local coffee shop owners decided not to reopen when this is all over. Our Brandon Bates is working from home as we continue social distancing here at WXII. He joins us live with the next step for Twin City Hive Coffee Lounge. Brandon?
Yeah, Brianna. Well, Twin City Hive is on Brookstown Avenue. It's a great place. I actually did a story there a couple months ago when Business 40 reopened, and they talked about the business finally coming back in. Now the coronavirus has swept North Carolina. They have to shut their doors. On Facebook, the owner of the shop posted this. He said, quote, "It's with a heavy heart that I write this post. I've decided not to reopen the shop. At this point, it's crucial that I keep from continuing to run up expenses while not being able to open. After dealing with this closure of the interstate for almost a year, selling my home to keep the doors open, and now this." Governor Roy Cooper was asked about situations like the one Twin City is in today's news conference. He says he's talking to people in the business community about ways to boost the local economy.
Businesses in North Carolina and across the world have faced a major economic blow because of this virus, and that we know that a lot of workers have had hours reduced or have even been fired from a job.
Terry Miller, who owns Twin City Hive, went on to say this in his Facebook post, quote, "This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. Please support local. Do not take it for granted that business will always be around. I certainly never imagined this would be the ending in Brookstown. Stay tuned. It is not over," end quote. Now, the owner of that coffee shop did indicate that they do plan to reopen at a separate location. At WXII12.com right now, you can find a way to help this business out. You can buy $5 virtual cups of coffee to give them a little boost in this tough time. Reporting live from my home tonight, Brandon Bates, WXII 12 News.
Certainly wishing them the best. Thank you, Brandon. Looking ahead now, Winston-Salem leaders are getting ready to announce the next steps in the fight against the coronavirus. Mayor Alan Joynes is going to host an online news conference tomorrow. We're told he plans to address homelessness and transit needs in the city.
Our lives are kind of turned upside down, but if we don't get a hold of it and continue to keep the lid on it, it could be much longer. So my words of advice are, let's deal with it up front tight right now, and we can get through it sooner than later.
The mayor's news conference is set for tomorrow morning at 10. Now to Washington and a coronavirus update. Who has the authority to reopen the economy? Governors around the nation, as well as the Constitution, appear to differ with the president. More now with NBC's Susan McGinnis.
Amid hopeful signs that coronavirus cases are leveling off and with mounting pressure to reopen the economy, President Trump declared he alone will decide how and when that happens.
When somebody's the president of the United States, the authority is total. And that's the way it's got to be.
A stunning announcement, and the president declined to say how it squares with the Constitution, but he predicted governors will follow his orders.
I haven't asked anybody because I don't, you know why? Because I don't have to. We'd like to have their cooperation, and we are going to have their cooperation. They will cooperate perfectly.
The governors of New York, New Jersey, and 5 other states are already cooperating with each other, announcing a joint effort to start reopening together and in careful phases.
But let's be smart and let's be cooperative and let's learn from one another.
California Governor Gavin Newsom announcing a similar alliance with the governors of Washington and Oregon. The governors leaning on each other because the federal response has often left them to fend for themselves. President Trump, armed with a campaign-style video presentation, aggressively fighting back against a New York Times report that he ignored early warnings about the coming pandemic.
I'm supposed to close up the United States of America when I have no cases.
He praised his own response, sidestepping questions about lost time that could have been used to stockpile tests and life-saving equipment. Susan McGinnis, NBC News, Washington.
Second Harvest Food Bank CEO Eric Aft is recovering from COVID-19 at home now. He spent 4 days in the hospital last week for pneumonia, and while there, he tested positive for the coronavirus. Aft tells us the disease is horrible. He says he suffered with labored and uncomfortable breathing. Well, his doctors say they're expecting a full recovery, and he says he's going to be working from home for the next 2 weeks. Local food banks really need your donations now more than ever as more families turn to them to help get food on the table. This Wednesday, WXII 12 is partnering with Second Harvest Food Bank for a virtual telethon, encouraging you to help them meet the needs of our neighbors. For more information on how you can help out and donate, just head to WXII12.com/secondharvest. Much more ahead tonight at 11, including a company brewing up some plans to get financial help to North Carolina's bar and restaurant workers suddenly out of a job. How you can get in on the action.
It was a dark and stormy morning, followed by a bright and sunny afternoon. Now we've got a cold front that's pushed through the area, and there is some cooler air on the other side of it. I'll let you know when we'll have more 30s in our forecast. Plus, we'll bring you the latest on that tornado touchdown and the other damage across the area.
Happening now in Winston-Salem, authorities are trying to find this woman, 19-year-old Hannah Woody. She's been missing and there's a silver alert out for her. She was last seen on East 14th Street wearing a camouflage tank top and gray and black pants. She's believed to be suffering from a cognitive impairment. Call Winston-Salem police if you've seen this woman or know where she is. Right now, Winston-Salem police are looking for a drive-by shooter who injured a minor. It happened around 6 o'clock this evening on the basketball courts of Rupert Bell Park on Mount Zion Place. The victim and several witnesses says a small car approached the basketball courts, then fired several shots in their direction. Investigators say the minor was hit in the lower leg, but is expected to recover. Right now, the search is on for a hit-and-run driver who killed a woman in Thomasville. Investigators tell us someone hit Hallie Cook. She was struck just before 10 last night on Cloninger Drive. The person behind the wheel never stopped. Thomasville police ask that any witnesses or anyone with information come forward. Now to a troubling story in Charlotte. A woman who hasn't left her house in 3 weeks has tested positive for COVID-19. She lives with an autoimmune disorder and has only had contact with 3 people since mid-March. WCNC's Nate Marabato has this story.
In between constant coughing, a mask covering her face, Rachel Brummert shares her disbelief.
I really thought I was doing everything right.
at a higher risk for complications due to an underlying condition.
We're asking people to limit their interaction.
She listened to the health experts.
You cannot assume that the person sitting next to you is negative.
Other than a trip to the pharmacy more than 3 weeks ago, Brummert said she didn't leave her house once.
I'm absolutely terrified.
Even so, after days of waiting, a COVID-19 test confirmed her fears.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
From what I'm hearing about ventilators, it's scary stuff. I really hope that I could just wait this out at home.
Have you ever felt this bad in your life?